Okay, awesome. And we're recording. I can't tell you how many times I've done that and actually didn't record. Guys, I want to welcome you to our Inspire Tribe, our accountability. We've got lots of different teams here, Chris, from all over North America. And I want to welcome you, Chris Downing, celebrity trainer, creator of Shift Shop, and so much more to our call. We have been highly anticipating this, and we know how valuable your time is and your talent, and really, really want to thank you for being here. We're super stoked. We're super stoked. I'm actually reporting from Nova Scotia, Canada.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's if you're wondering where my accent is from. And we have teams from all over North America. We've got people out in Seattle, and Monica, I'm going to get you to mute yourself. Great. Seattle way, California way, all up through Canada. A lot of my teams in Ontario, all over, coast to coast.
Wow.
So we're really, really excited to have you here. And I know that our team, we're doing your program Shift Shop right now. It's my second time doing it. And I know you're from Ohio.
Right.
I have some coaches from Ohio, actually. And they were really excited that you were going to be on the call as well. So you are a busy dad. You're a husband. You're an entrepreneur.
I'm not a husband.
Oh, sorry. 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 You're a busy, busy, busy man. I know you're a workaholic. I read that in an interview somewhere with you. So I want to thank you again for your time and your talent for being here. First of all, did you want to kind of start by talking, Chris, or did you want us to ask you some questions? How do you want to do this?
Well, I just wanted to be kind of free.
Good.
First, I definitely want to thank you guys for, adjusting the time. So I forgot my daughter had a choir concert tonight. So that was my fault. And so I appreciate you guys going an hour early. And believe it or not, it only lasted like 27 minutes. I was like, you messed my schedule up. But it was all good. So I was actually home like 7:45. But, well, honestly, I've had this whole Beachbody ride has been interesting. It really has. And, in a sense of like, I never realized so many people love me, you know what I mean? And it's empowering, but, it also comes with a lot of responsibility, you know what I mean? And so, when I came into this and I made a vow to myself that I would be the same Chris before this is throughout it, I knew that my program would be successful. I knew that I would be successful as a trainer because I knew that I brought something to the table that wasn't currently there. And my personality, characteristics weren't demonstrated. And I knew, the first 6 months, as a trainer, what the network needed. It was apparent. I felt y'all needed validation. You needed a different perspective than the perspective you've been getting. And so, I took about 10 months and I really studied you guys. I mean, I really did. And what I mean by study, I looked at your posts, I looked at, I popped in some couple groups and I just watched the body language. And I've done a ton of team calls over the last, I haven't stopped doing team calls since I was announced in 2017. So, I got a great idea what's going on. And so when I create programs, these programs, it's supposed to be more than fitness. I want you to understand a mindset. And so, I've been fortunate because of you guys to attain a level of success I've never had. And first, I want to thank you for that because if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here. And so, but now that, my biggest problem is, being able to do things for my kids that I never able to do, do whatever I want to do for what, I struggle because I'm a firm believer that like when you're successful, true success is when it go past your home and into somebody else's. And I'm not seeing that in the network. So to me, I don't really consider that success. So I needed to get off the platform and get down here in the trenches with you guys and find out what the problem is. And I know what the problem is. So first and foremost, I've done since September, probably 110 calls. And yeah, since the last week of September. And every call, you know, I probably talked about 5,000 or 6,000 coaches total over the last month and a half. And so, you know, I always ask the coaches in this box here, I need 15 answers of where you feel you're struggling in your business. And I'm going to ask this team too. And I'm going to tie it all in a minute. All right. If you wanted me to come on here to sell Shift Shop, I'm not doing it. I've never sold my program. I'm not going to sell you anything. I'm going to enlighten you so that you can see your potential. And whatever you do with my program with that potential, that's up to you. But I don't need to sell my program. That's not why I'm here. I don't care about breaking records. I care about bringing out the best in you guys. So in this box, I want you to write down, give me like 15 answers where you guys feel you're struggling. Ready, go. Consistency, inviting. I know it's coming. I just spoke it before it showed up. Recruiting. All right. Posting, time, finding working coaches, inviting, belief. Okay. Same stuff. Okay. Being authentic. Okay. Self-confidence. Okay. Consistency. Perfect. There we go. Now y'all singing like a bird. Nice. All right. Perfect. So let's freeze for a second. Let me just break this down to you. So pretend like I never asked that question. All right. I never asked that question. And I don't know that communicating, recruiting without selling, balance between life and coaching, inviting, what else is here? Mindset, limited mindset, making it a priority, self-doubt, confidence. Pretend I never asked that question. And then, you know, I get introduced on this call about my amazing program, and I just come on the program and I come on the call and just start talking about my program, right? Oh, it's awesome. You know, I revamped it, and you know, now it's technically 4 weeks, and you're going to get in great shape, and it's very motivating, and blah, 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 right? I'm selling. And I get you guys all excited about the program because I break it down, talk about the scorecard, talk about, you know, how you can prove to yourself every week you can get better. And you guys are getting excited. And then I'm going to tell you how you can present this to your challengers. So now you're getting even more excited. And then we get off the call, and all of a sudden you go back to brush your teeth before you go to bed. You look in the mirror. And what I did in that call was help you suppress everything you put in that box, right? I gave you goosebumps during the call, but you going to bed with the stuff that's in that box. And tomorrow you're going to wake up with that stuff in the box. And you're going to approach your coaching business with that stuff in the box. You're going to go to work with that stuff in the box. You're going to take your kids to school with that stuff in the box. So we never really fixed the problem. I told you about an amazing program, but there's a problem that's underlying that's suppressed, right? And this problem, once it's revealed and is brought to light, guess what happens? Everything you've ever wanted for yourself is going to surface. You know why? Because you no longer have limits. And so let's go to this one right here, where it's self-doubt, right? I got 3 beautiful kids upstairs. I got a 8-year-old, 5-year-old, and a 9-week-old. Beautiful. And they all look just like me. But you weren't born with self-doubt. You weren't born with confidence problems. You weren't born with concerning how to invite people. In fact, when you was a baby, you didn't even have to invite people to want to hold you. They just offered to hold you, right? So over the course of time, something happened that disrupted that space you were in. Something happened. There's a series of events that's happened up until this point in your life, right? That's had major influence on how you see the world, how you see your family, how you see your business, but most importantly, how you see yourself. And these events has shaped you to be the person you are today, both good and bad, right? So if you look at the stuff in this box, what if I told you that the struggles you having aren't really your struggles? Think about what I'm saying to you now. They're not really your struggles. What if I told you they was projected on you? So what I mean by being projected on you, let's just say I have a parent, right, that's fear-based, and my mom or my pops didn't succeed in life, and there's something in me that they really are jealous of, or something in me that they didn't have in themselves, so they put me down, or they make me feel like I'm not good enough, or nothing's ever good enough, right? Now that's become an anchor. And everything I do in my life, I'm taking that with me. So I get all these opportunities. I'm playing sports. That anchors with me. But I'm telling myself I'm using it as motivation to overcome it. But no, it's really an anchor. So then I get an opportunity as I get older to run my own business. And I'm looking at my business, and all I see is my limitations, right? I see my fear. I see everything that was projected on me by one of my parents. And I'm not saying your parents are doing it. I'm just telling you a story. And so in all actuality, my parents' mindset is running my business because I accepted that. I allowed their insecurities, fears, doubts, and worries to be projected on me, and I owned it, right? But while I'm trying to run my business and they're operating through me, inside of me, there's still that notion that you can really do this. You know what? I see a potential in you doing this. It's just that little bit of that quiet voice that kind of gives you confidence. But you also know that there's so much more you're capable of, but you just can't grasp it. Like, you can't manifest it. You can't bring it to life. You can't tap into it, right? It's because of the anchors. And what does an anchor do to a boat? Think about what an anchor does to a boat. Rocks back and forth, rocks side to side, but it never really moves. But when you remove that anchor, what happens? That boat sails. So the whole point of me saying this to you is I want you to look at your business, right? This is a commission-based business. There's no guaranteed paychecks to this business, right? None. And you're trying to materialize something from this business so that you can provide, financial security for your family and pay for colleges and just live a better life, right? Because you know what? That's part of your birthright, so you should expect that. But you can't seem to step into your own or step into your purpose. And you're running your business based on the anchors that's been placed on you. But all along, you think it's you, but it's not you. It's what you accepted. So when people tell me they have a hard time communicating or a hard time inviting other people, that's not the case. The reaction to that, the reality of that is you have a hard time inviting and accepting yourself. You're just projecting that insecurity into the universe, right? So what I want you guys to understand is you got to remove the anchors so that you can run your business. I'm going to say it again. You got to remove the anchors so that you can run your business. And how do you remove the anchors? You got to forgive. You got to forgive. You got to forgive the people that did you wrong. And after you forgive the people, you got to forgive yourself for carrying that for so long and allowing them to share that space with you. And once you forgive people and you forgive yourself, guess what happens? You are free to be you. You are free to sail. You no longer have these anchors. There's one common denominator, guys. Listen to me. There's one common denominator that's the hands down the most powerful component of life. It's the most powerful connecting point. All animals do it. All humans do it. All insects do it. And that's love. Love multiplies, expresses. The benefits of self-love is what else? It gives you identity, a sense of hope. It gives you confidence, right? Self-love is the most powerful thing. It creates babies. It creates marriages. It bonds relationships. If love is the most powerful component amongst anything with a heartbeat, why isn't that the foundation of your business? Think about what I'm saying to you now. Think about what I'm saying. If that's the most powerful component of anything with a heartbeat, why isn't that the foundation of your business? Well, Chris, how do I make love the foundation of my business? Well, you start with loving yourself first. You accept 100% responsibility for where you are right now. Right, wrong, or indifferent, doesn't matter. You accept it. You own it, right? And then you start loving yourself. When you start loving yourself, guess what happens? You start believing in yourself. You start getting confidence. When you get confidence, all those amazing talents and gifts that are inside of you right now is going to surface and say, hey, I'm here to serve you. I've been a part of you all this time. What do you want to do with this? And then you become infectious. And when you become infectious, guess what? You start walking in a certain kind of light. You ever been somewhere and a person just lights up a room by their presence? That person is infectious. You have any idea how powerful light is? We live in a dark world. So if you love yourself, you already ahead of 80% of people in the world, because most people don't love themselves. They don't even believe in themselves. They have no sense of self-identity, no purpose, no self-worth, no value, no nothing. So if you learn how to love yourself, people are going to gravitate to you because you're going to be the light. Think about outside, right outside your house right now. If you got your porch light out, there's little mosquitoes and little bugs just wandering around. The minute you turn on your porch light, guess what they do? They're smart enough to run to the light. They run to the light. And when they run to the light, they see their prey. When they run to the light, they feel warm. They feel protected, right? It's a meeting place. Well, you got so many people that's in your pathway that's designed to gravitate to your life, but it's dark. They can't find you. And the only reason why they can't find you is because you look just like them. You don't love yourself. You don't believe in yourself. But the minute you start loving yourself and believing in yourself and getting confidence and you become infectious, guess what? They're coming. And when they come, guess what? They're going to have the same struggles you had. And because you learn how to do it, everything you speak is going to have power. And you're going to teach them how to love themselves. And they're going to believe in themselves. And they're going to teach somebody. And they're going to teach somebody. And they're going to teach somebody. And guess what? Before you know it, there's your team just got really big out of nowhere. Why? Because you demonstrated self-love. What was you selling all along? It wasn't challenge packs and programs. You were selling hope. And that's what the world is lacking. You understand what I'm saying? So think about the person when you're in a store, wherever you at, and this person's presence demands attention. And you feel it like, whoo, that person came in here. Everybody looked. And there was people in there before, but their presence didn't demand attention. And you kind of curious, like women are sneaky. You guys are real sneaky. You curious, like if a woman walks in there and her presence demands attention, you're going to find out why. And the way you're going to find out is you're going to look at two things. You're going to look at her shoes or her bag. You're going to strike a conversation from her shoes or her bag. And you walk up to this lady, right? And you say, that's a nice bag you got. Oh, thank you. You just want to see what her temperature is like. You want to see how she responds. And then if you get that pleasant response, you're going to say, if you don't mind me asking, I'm sorry, I don't mean to impose. What do you do for a living? I'm a Beachbody coach. You might not even know what that means, but you know it's got to mean something because she just lit this room up. And she tells you, if you ever want to know anything about it, here, just, here's my card. And then you go home and you go back to your same life of what's familiar, right? What's normal. But inside, you know that there's so much more to you than what you live in right now. You know it. You know it. But you're kind of frustrated because you really don't know what to do. And you just go on with the flow. And you clean out your purse one day, and all of a sudden you come across that card. Oh, that's the lady from Starbucks. And you pick up the phone and you call her, hey, I met you a couple weeks ago at Starbucks. I mentioned your purse. You told me you did some kind of business. You have time to meet? Yeah, meet me tomorrow at Starbucks. So you go to Starbucks. She tells you about her business, and she talks about challenge packs and programs and all, your whole, ecosystem, financial system, and how you grow your business and all the tools you have. But let me ask you a question. When she walked in that room, was she walking in the room talking about challenge packs and programs? No. What did she sell you on? She sold you on herself. She sold you on herself first, challenge packs and programs second. So the whole point I'm making here is you're more than a coach. You're a brand. And you carry that brand everywhere you go. There's no accidents to the places you go. But if you look like everybody else, then your people can't find you. Write this down. There's 4 chambers that's going to change your situation right now. So y'all thought I was going to talk about this program, huh? Check this out. There's 4 chambers that's going to take you to a life that only you see in your dreams and fairy tales and fantasies, but it's really your real reality. Your mind, your emotions, your words, and what you listen to. Now watch this. This right here, I'm telling you right now, if you apply this, your business is going to take off. Your mind is your message center. It's where your visions are, right? You get thoughts all day long, good thoughts, bad thoughts. But here's the key. Up until this point, you've been living unconsciously, and you just accept whatever thought that comes about, right? But when you figure out who you are from loving yourself and believing in yourself, guess what? Now you have a sense of identity, right? A sense of worth, a sense of value. So from that point, your thoughts have to be conscious. If it's a negative thought, you reject it verbally. If it's a positive thought, you engage with that thought. Now, let me break this down to you. Every thought you have, you got a choice to connect with it emotionally, good or bad. When you connect with that thought emotionally, that thought now has a heartbeat because you tied your emotions to it. And after you tie your emotions to it, 9 times out of 10, you're going to start speaking about how you feel, right? And when you speak of how you feel, what do? You project it in the universe and also projecting it back to yourself, to your soul. So let's just paint a picture. Let's just say Heather, what's your husband's name, Heather?
Me?
Yep, you. What's your husband?
My husband's Neil.
Neil. All right. Let's just say as Heather and Neil, right? Heather's a Beachbody coach. Neil works extremely hard in a factory. And let's just say, you know, around this time, he's one of the hardest workers. He's always getting extra hours, and he's super dependable. He always gets overtime, but things is a little shaky at work, right? And he's barely getting 40 hours a week. And her coaching business is just somewhat just trying to get off the ground, right? So they're visualizing their struggle. They're seeing their struggle, right? It's not coming in like it was. So in their mind, they're seeing it, and then emotionally, they're connecting to it by being down, right? Maybe having guilt that they're not able to provide for their kids the way they really wanted to. And maybe not being able to, just barely making ends meet, right? So it's emotionally wearing on them. So then Heather gets with Danielle and they have coffee and she said, yeah, what's wrong? Well, Neil's not getting the hours and we barely making ends meet. Do you understand where that whole conversation just went? There's all kind of projected in the universe in that conversation. You know why? Because Heather is thinking about this problem, right? Emotionally, she's connecting to this problem. Now she's speaking this problem. When she speaks it in the universe, guess what? Neil's going to continue to not get the hours because she put it out there, and it's going right back in her ear into her soul, right? So she's just doing this same consistent routine, and it's not getting better. But it gets better when she changes her thoughts, changes her emotions, changes what she says, changes what she's listening to. So many of you I understand that, Chris, but I've been having these thoughts. I'm in a tough situation. How do you change it once it's going? Okay, here's a perfect example. I'm going to call right now, right? And everybody's listening to me. So let's say you had a bad day of thinking, a bad day of feeling, a bad day of speaking, a bad day of listening to yourself and projecting all kind of craziness in the world. Then you hop on this call tonight, right? And I'm speaking to you and you're feeling good. You're feeling hopeful. Now I just touched that last spot. Now that I touch the last spot, you get off the call, you start texting all your friends and posting on social media how great of a call this was, and you feel good and you feel motivated. Now you speaking it, right? When you speaking it, your emotions is connected to it now because now you hopeful. Now that your emotions is connected to it, guess what's happening? Now the vision is changing. Now you're starting to see yourself in a better situation. You see where I'm going with this? So the situation you're in right now, you created it. You just did it unconsciously. Imagine putting your thoughts on it now. Here's another powerful tool that I want you to understand. If you've ever signed up one coach in your commission-based business, one coach, you're successful. You're successful. The difference between one coach and 500 coaches or 1,000 coaches or 2,000 coaches is going to depend on how much you love yourself. Period. It's going to depend on how much you love yourself. When you get wealth, loving yourself, wealth mentally, wealth physically by taking good care of yourself, and spiritually, your finances have to complement that. But if you have poverty in your thoughts or lack in your thoughts, lack or poverty in your emotions, lack or poverty in your body, that's got to complement that. Basically, what I'm trying to tell you is you got all the power. So imagine if you consciously projected into the universe what you really want to happen. Here's another thing. If you're a 5-figure coach and your desire is to be a 6 or 7-figure coach, you know how to attain that, right? You wake up tomorrow and you start doing the duties of a 6 and 7-figure coach. You do it by faith. You become right now what it is that you really desire to be. Well, how do I do that if my team's not big? Turn on your computer, pretend like there's 10 pages of coaches and start inspiring the computer screen. Because guess what? Before I was able to speak to the masses, I was doing this in my basement when nobody was here. So I've already done this before. Before I started training the masses, I was training myself, encouraging myself, motivating myself like I was training in front of the masses, guys. You can't wait for it to show up to do it, or it's not going to show up. No, you got to project it. You got to speak it. I got this group, right? It's Power of I Am group, 9-week personal development program, right? We got 16 days till Thanksgiving. And one of their biggest challenges is they're not allowed to listen to any music for 16 days in their car. Nope. No carbs, no carbs, no starches for 16 days until Thanksgiving. In their car, no music. You know why? Because that's the time in your car, that's an intimate moment where you're going to speak affirmations into the universe. As you go around the town, you're going to speak. Every time you speak about your team, there's a coach that takes a step forward towards you. You keep speaking it, takes a step toward you. You say something negative, coach takes a step back. There's coaches right now that should have been in your business 6 months ago, but because of your confession, it's going to take them a year to get to you. Think about all the blessings and all the things that was set up for you that should have already arrived, but it can't arrive because you're not calling it forth. You're pushing it away by what you think, how you feel, and what you say, because it's ultimately turning out what you believe, and you continue in that cycle. If you think I'm lying, think about the path. Think about the people you just meet out of nowhere. They just pop up. There's no coincidence. You spoke that person to you. It was consistent, but you did it unconsciously. People tell me all the time that they struggle with weight. You don't struggle with weight. You struggle with loving yourself. If you look in the mirror, that's just depression, fear, anxiety, and worry. You get rid of that, the weight will just fall off. You understand what I'm saying to you? Here's the battlefield. It's right here. It's right here. This is where you're going to win it and lose it. It's all about what you see, how you feel, what you say, what you believe, period. And anything you want, you project it as if you're already doing it. Is that making sense? This is not hard, guys. 2 years ago, I couldn't even buy groceries. I just started Beachbody or joined Beachbody. I couldn't even buy groceries for my kids, man. 9 weeks ago, Dana's in the hospital pushing out cash, and I got my 2 little ones at the grocery store, and we're in the aisle, and I pay for the groceries, and I look to the right by the door, and there's a lady with a Shift Shop shirt on, right? So I'm like, that's interesting. It's the same shirt I had on at that same time. So I'm walking towards the exit, and she's just standing there. She's getting excited. She puts her hands on her mouth. Her head goes into a bobblehead. She started doing high knees, so excited, like just so pumped, right? And she's like, oh, my gosh, I thought that was you. I didn't want to bother you. I thought those are kids. And she's like, oh, my gosh, I don't have my phone. I was like, you don't need your phone. She's like, what do you mean? I said, come here. Put my arm around her. I took a selfie of us. I kissed her on her cheek, and I said, thank you. Thank you? I should be thanking you. You changed my life. No, actually, you and the rest of the network changed my life. 2 years ago, I couldn't buy groceries. Now I can buy whatever I want. So thank you. So the whole point, the reason why I'm telling you this is if you could take a person 2 years ago that couldn't buy groceries, right? How much more can you do for yourself and your family and your team? You understand what I'm telling you? You guys are the heartbeat of this company, man. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here. Joel wouldn't be here. Jericho, and none of us would be here. But people ain't going to tell you that. You know why? Because some people like to think that there's a difference between the two of us. Well, guess what? If y'all disappear, we disappear. You have all this admiration and all this, you idolizing us and all these different things you have towards us like we're different than you. No, I put my hoodie over my head just like you put your shirt over your head. How do you have all this admiration for me but don't have it for yourself? You understand you don't want to put me on this platform, right? Because nobody markets our programs the way you do. I see the challenge groups. I see how you signing people up. Think about what I'm saying to you now. How about the times you guys go to these events, right? You go to these events, and in this commission-based business you work hard, you qualify for a picture, and you just so happen to do a program that at this particular time in your life, this program spoke to you, right? It helped you get through a tough moment. You got in the best shape. You was going through it. You got confidence, and you qualified for this picture. And you're in line for 2 hours for this picture. Bunch of y'all, right? And you even rehearsing in your mind what you're going to say to your favorite trainer, whoever that is. And as the line gets closer to the person, you get goosebumps, you get emotional, and it's your time. You come up to me, I ain't your favorite trainer. I say, what's up? Say hi, give you a hug. And then we take the picture, you go about your way. You're like, move, Chris. And you get to your favorite trainer, and you just want a moment. Even if it's 10 seconds, you just want to tell this person what they mean to you. You want to tell this person what their program did for you. And you get the response that you was just like, wait a minute, that's not the response I wanted from you. All I wanted is an acknowledgement that you felt where I was coming from, and you didn't get it. You got like okay, cool, like, and you took the picture and you walk away like, wow, I didn't get the response I was waiting for that I really wanted. I stood in line for 2 hours. When's the last time a super trainer told you guys thank you? I'm just being factual. I mean, I'm not saying nothing now I wouldn't say at Summit. I'm just telling you the truth. When's the last time someone said thank you to you? How about we change that perspective? And the perspective needs to be, you got to have this mindset. They need us. For real. I'm telling you that. They can't do it without us. You see the IGs, you see all the stuff we do. You should be saying to yourself, you know what? It's because of me and the network, they're able to do that. And that should give you the confidence. If you could do it for us, then you could do so much more for yourself. Does that make sense to you? The key to selling any challenge pack and any program is selling yourself first. That's why I ain't wasting my time talking about my program. It don't matter. What matters is you. You could, if you start loving yourself and believing in yourself, you sell my program based off of you. You don't need me. You don't need me to give you the strategy to do it. Everything I just told you right now is in that program. I said it somewhere in the program. This is hands down the most incredible personal development workout program. If you've done Proven Grounds, and trust me, you already know what I'm talking about. It's way better than Shift Shop. There's two different Chris's in this program. There's Shift Shop Chris and there's Proven Grounds Chris. My body's different. My whole everything's different. And I even filmed it with a broken foot and a broken toe, but you can't even tell. So that should tell you I had a lot to prove. And now I got a lot to prove to you guys. And the proof that I want to do to you is I want to prove to you who you really are. All right? So I got 15 minutes and any questions you have.
Holy, that's awesome. So Chris, I knew this was the call. I knew this was the call because I've been reduced to tears after 100 push-ups working out with you live. So I'm so excited that you delivered this call the way that you did tonight. Just look at all these comments. I mean, oh, goosebumps is right. Absolutely. And I think you really spoke to all of us and poured into all of us, Chris. So I want to thank you for that. And I know everybody wants to thank you for that. Guys, do you guys have any specific questions you want to ask? I know Heather had a really good one that kind of pertains to what we're seeing in the coach group and how positive it is in the coach group and how your coach group is different, right?
Yeah.
Do you want to go and ask that one, Heather?
Yeah, I asked my team what they wanted to know from you, and all they said was that they loved that your coach test group is the most positive one we've ever been a part of. It's not full of whiners, complainers, and the like, which have been kind of a part of the other groups, unfortunately, since we're being honest. But what we wanted to know is, how do you keep these groups so positive? And I'm sure your other groups that you've run are the same. Because we know that at some point we all have that negative person that wants to ruin it for everybody else. How do you deal with that and just keep the group super positive and upbeat?
So every one of my groups are run like this. And the reason why I run them this way is because I want to project to the group the leader that you guys already are. You just don't know it, right? If the thing is, can you mute that for me? You got it? You got it? The thing that's so powerful about the coach test group is only thing I'm doing is talking to your better self. That's all I'm doing. And I say it in Shift Shop Proven Grounds. Like, sometimes you need somebody to believe more than you believe in yourself. You remember the story with Sherry, right? Sherry's her son with the tumor. And so I called him yesterday. And I had a heart-to-heart with him on the phone. This guy don't know me. I don't know him. I wanted his phone number, and I called him. And I just simply asked him a question. I said, what is your why? Like, why do you work so hard? You're a school teacher. This has nothing to do with my program. Why do you get up every day and strive to do your best each and every day? He said, if you had asked him his question 2 years ago, I would have said it was my wife, but now we have a beautiful daughter. I said, so your daughter's your why, right? Yeah, and my wife. Okay, so now you told me your wife and your daughter's your why. Dying isn't an option. Flat out. I'm just telling you right now, it's not an option. So this is how we gonna handle this brain tumor. It's an internal problem, so we gotta have an internal solution. You're gonna eat every food that gives your brain performance. Whatever it is, Google it. Whatever foods that give your brain optimum performance, that's what you put in your body. Prior to this, he was diagnosed 15 days ago, couldn't get an appointment with a doctor, surgeon, no nothing, right? So I'm telling him, and then from there, you're gonna start reading to your daughter at night. You're gonna start projecting, watching her go to graduation and walking her down the aisle. You're gonna visualize this, so we're gonna exercise this brain. And you're not gonna talk about this to anybody else, because people will help you die. They'll help you die quicker because they'll get afraid. And they'll say it's concern, but you don't need that energy. You don't tell anybody else about this. This is between you and God, man. All right? Got off the phone. Well, right before I got the phone, he said, I've never had it broke down to me like that. You're right. It's not an option. 25 minutes after we got off the phone, guess who called him? The surgeon. They go see him tomorrow. You understand what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? Like, all I want you guys to see is you have so much untapped, unlimited potential. Every tool that you need to be whatever coach you want to be, whatever wife, whatever parent, it doesn't matter. You already have it. You just distracted right now. You just don't love yourself. The moment you start loving yourself, you start loving your husband and wife more, your kids more, your team more. That's what's missing. So this coach test group, I got 4 weeks. 4 weeks to bring out the best in you mentally and physically. That's why I give you guys a personal development challenge every single day, because I want you to release this stuff. Right? I'm telling you right now, if I ever get an 8-week program or an 80-day program, I'm going to break Beachbody server. I'm telling you right now, it's going to break. It's going to blow up because it's going to be too much power in that group, man. It's going to break. So I want you guys to understand, we got 4 weeks to bring out the best in yourself. And we're doing it as a team because that's what it's about. Does that make sense?
Hey, Chris,
Yo.
As an older woman,
That's
I'm
awesome.
57. How do we get the older crowd to accept Beachbody?
Who said you were older?
I did.
She said, I said it. Why? No. So here's the beauty in your situation. You're the spokesperson. You probably have a better chance of growing your team than we do. Because at that point, in that age, that's where people just tend to give up. You're the spokesperson for everybody else. You're going to blaze the trail for everybody else. See, it's not about getting everybody else to that place. It's about getting you to that place, and they're going to follow you. Because they're going to see, wait a minute, how old are you? You look like what? You feel like what? Most people your age is on all kind of medication. They don't want to be on medicine, right? So it's you. You the prize. You the answer. That's how you're going to get them to join. Next question. You can just unmute yourself and ask.
You guys have anything you want to ask here? Yeah, I wanted to kind of touch on what you were saying there, Barb. Like one of my, I'm in my 40s, my husband's almost 50, and I do personally, that's my whole thing is for women to like really like bring back their power, bring back, like, it's okay. There's the word selfish is not, when you take care of yourself, that's not selfish.
No.
That's selfless because you're making yourself the best person you can be for everybody in your life, right? And I feel like, you know, like you said, the anchors hold us back. So Barb, I have so many women on my team who are 50 and over, and they are in the best shape of their life mentally and physically, and it's just so empowering. Oh, it just gives me the chills.
Hold on 1 second. I'm going to tell y'all something that's going to blow your mind. Where's my bear at? There she go. Bear, unmute yourself. Allie runs my whole life, in case you want to know. Like, she runs my whole world. She manages every aspect of my being. So tell them about your mom, how old she is, how she doesn't shift shop, and tell everything about what she has going on.
So she's 63. She has arthritis. She has had both knees and her hip replaced. And she has lost about 65 pounds at this point in probably the last 3 years. But yeah, I mean, when she started doing this, she used to walk with a cane. And that's always one of the things I always say every time I go back to my parents. I get emotional when I'm in their bedroom because her cane still sits in the corner of their room. And like, it blows my mind that she used to use that all the time. Like, I'll just see it. But, you know, she always wants to work out with me. When I was in Chris's test group for Shift Shop last year, I remember sending him a video, which he ended up putting on his Instagram, but she was trying to do the Downing burpee in speed 45. And I had just finished. I was like a complete mess, exhausted. And she was like, I can't, like, I'm struggling to do this. And so I was like, well, let's do it together, you know, so let's start over, let's do it together. And I was like showing her a version of what she could do. And I like laid the clips on top of each other of us, you know, kind of doing it together. And, you know, she just goes at her own pace, and she's got the mindset that she's just going to show up and go a little bit harder every day. She's a big, you know, she loves Shakeology. She's got enough blood pressure medication because of it. My dad's a type 2 diabetic. He is no longer taking anything for that because of it. So they just live it, you know. You're asked, like, how do you get people to do it? You do it. You just be it, you know. And it's amazing the amount of people that she has inspired to do the same. But it's not, you know, it doesn't look, and that's the thing, you know, you just have to understand it's not going to look like what I'm doing. You know, every day we'll get up and she's in my challenge groups, and our Apple Watches are synced together so we can, you know, send each other silly things when we finish our workouts. I get a notification, Mom, you know, and I send her a little something. But we'll sit down and we'll do the same workout, and it looks like two completely different things. And she's okay with that because it's for her, you know, she's doing it for her. And she's a completely different person, you know, and it's just, that is, I always say, like, when I started doing this, if there was one person that I could help, then I would feel like I did my job. And obviously it's been more than that in the last almost 5 years, but that's one of the biggest ones for me, to have her be able to interact with I remember when my kids were babies and she couldn't get up and down off the floor with them because her knees wouldn't bend, you know, and she was just, it was hard. And now, like, I mean, she's coming tomorrow because Chris and I are leaving for Denver. But, you know, she comes in the house and, man, she turns, first of all, you have to know her personality, but it's like, she turns the place upside down. You know, she's chasing, like, I'm yelling, sit down, like, you know, yelling at her and the kids. Like, so it's just, it's incredible. You know, it's one day at a time, and you just keep going. She's got days where, you know, the weather changes and her joints are in horrible pain. And she does what she can, you know, but she keeps going. She just keeps showing up. So that's it. I always say, you know, not everybody has or needs a weight loss story, but everybody needs a health gain, you know, and that's what it's about. This isn't just weight loss. This is health gain, and you can sell that to anybody. So
it's beautiful. I know one of the things about Mama Jan that I love is she like, modification is okay, guys. Like, it's okay. It doesn't mean you more or less than what it's okay. Modify your way to your health, man. You understand what I'm saying? Modification is okay. All right. Anybody else have anything for me? Come on, I got 10 minutes. God, give me some good questions. Well, like those weren't good. Come on, you want to know something. Let me see here. I can't believe no one. I'm gonna start calling you out. Kelly, what do you want to ask me? I see that half smile.
Oh. I have a question.
What's that?
So I asked this in the Power of I Am group, but maybe the CEO. Any future look at doing a podcast? Because your morning videos for the coach group and Power of I Am are just like amazing, and they've moved so many of us. And I know even for me, like, because I'm in the Power of I Am with you, like, getting rid of the music and stuff has been super helpful. And so I did search a couple podcast apps for you, and I didn't see any. So any Allie, how do we get them on that?
I will tell you this. I will be 100% honest with you. A year ago, I bought all the equipment for a podcast. I did. I have it. It's right here, actually. I just haven't had time to even process it yet. So this this next year, I'm promising you're going to see a lot of stuff. I don't have a program coming out in 2019, so I'm going to take that time to put out a book and all kind of just great stuff. So the podcast, I think it's gonna come out this year.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
That was a great question. I have one more question, and I don't know if this is too specific, Chris, or you can just kind of talk around it if it is. I mean, okay, so we're in a place where we are doing all those things. We've gotten to where we want to pour into people, and it was so great because I think one of the other ladies up here mentioned how her daughter mentioned, can we love people just a little bit more who don't love themselves? Mm-hmm. Right? And I feel like a lot of times we think we can do that, and of course we know the answer to that is no, it has to come from within them, just like that message that you just shared with us. Mm-hmm. When those people give you that, and you're trying to love on them, what would be your one piece of advice to try to permeate that wall where that defense that they don't want to work on themselves, or they want to, but they don't? Like, what would be your biggest piece of advice to try to pour that love and belief into them?
All right. So you're probably talking about a challenger, right? Or even a coach that's struggling. I like to look at, don't take this the wrong way, because I'll explain it, it'll make sense.
Yeah.
I look at people like that as a stray cat. Like, that's a stray cat. And this is why I say that. If somebody say, that boy just called him a cat. No, I call him a stray cat because think about a stray cat, right? Let's just say you pull up one day, you go to bring your groceries in the house, or you're on a porch and you see this stray cat, like meow, you see the cat, you look at it, and you got a loving heart because it's a cat, but the cat is dirty, is matted. You can tell the cat's been through some things, and the cat is just in the wilderness. It's hungry, look malnutritious, and you're just like, I really can't, it's meowing, but you're like, I really can't let you come in the house because I don't know where you've been. I don't know where you've been. So you being a sweet person, you go in the house, you get some milk, you set the milk outside the door. You tell the cat, come here, kitty, kitty, meow. The cat won't come to you, but it meows, right? You think, okay, no problem. Close the door. You go outside 20 minutes, the milk is gone, the cat is gone. You're like, okay, I did my good deed for the day. Take the cat, take the milk, put it in the dishwasher, go about your business. Next day, meow. Is that cat? So you go back outside, and now you're on the porch, and the cat is like brushing up against the house, but will take 2 steps forward, but that's it, right? Because the cat don't really trust you. Don't really know what's going on because the cat's been through some things, right? So you're like, oh, you hungry, no problem. Leave some milk there, go back in the house, go watch Young and the Restless or whatever you do, and go back outside 20 minutes later, milk's gone. Okay, the cat was hungry, did good deed, day number 2. Wash your bowl. Well, the next day you have a severe thunderstorm with hail, possible tornado, and they telling you, don't be outside. So you and your husband, or your wife, you pull up and you see the cat, meow, and it's like, what are you doing? Can we bring the cat in the house? What if a tornado? Your husband, like, the cat can't come in the house. We don't know the cat's story. It don't look right. It can't come in the house. And you just said, but this is, what if something happens to the cat? Take the cat and put the cat in the basement. So you go in the house, you get an old towel, you wrap it up because you don't want to touch it. You take the cat downstairs, you put it in a box with your old towels, you get some food, some more milk, and the cat's in the box, and you go upstairs and close the door. Husband sound asleep or wife sound asleep, you tossing and turning because you're thinking, man, what if this cat is down there tearing up my basement? So you go downstairs and you tiptoe and you see the cat curled up in a ball purring, right? It's purring on your old towel in the box. So you wake up the next day against your husband or wife's will, take the cat to the vet, get the shots, find out didn't have no fleas, just went through a rough time, went and got the cat groomed, brought the cat home. Now you got a pet cat. You walk in the house, the cat greets you at the door. You sit down and watch movies, the cat sits next to you. It's always purring, always connected to you. Why is that cat that way? Because you showed him love. And you had that cat began to trust you. And that's no different than a challenger or a coach is going through a hard time when their business, when you want to get to the wall. You don't know their story. There's a reason why this person is this way. And there's a series of things that shape this person's mindset. Maybe your purpose and their purpose connected, gave them hope, but they think maybe it's too good to be true. Maybe sometimes these people will purposely push you away from them because they used to people abandon them. And that's why I say sometimes you got to hold people's hand for a while. All you got to do is just be consistent and show this person you love them. You care about them, that you want what's best for them. And the moment you remove that veil from them, their eyes, and they see your true heart, guess what happens? That person will work hard just to make you happy. You see what I'm saying? And what happens is they'll go out, they'll look for all the people that was just like them. And before you know it, everybody's team grew. So when you get faced with those challenges, you got to look at it like this. There's something on the inside of you that you got to work on. It ain't even the person. Here's your challenge. Celebrate the challenge. You need that challenge to develop what you need, because you, as a coach, guys, you want to be a coach that can reach every fitness level, every situation. You don't want to be a coach that only cater to a certain amount of people, because now you're putting a limit on yourself. As a trainer, any program that I do is going to be for everybody. And I do mean everybody. You know why? Because the bigger you expand yourself, the more greatness you can attain. You see what I'm saying? And that's what it's about. So that's just something to think about when you're dealing with a challenger or a coach that's struggling. You got to celebrate that challenge and develop on the inside of you to make sure you remove the blinders from their eyes.
It's awesome. Thank you. That was great. I know there's a lot of cat lovers on here.
And don't be calling people a cat either.
Yeah. I thought the analogy was great. I'm a dog person over here, so I'm like, I get it though. The analogy still rings true, Chris. Oh my gosh. I want to thank you so much. Like, so much for your time, for your talent, for your compassion, for your pouring into us. And we were vessels, and it was well received for sure. And I cannot wait to share this recording with anybody who couldn't make it. And thank you for taking your time away from your family. I know you love to do it, but still, we appreciate it.
I appreciate you guys taking the time and adjusting. Go to my website. It's www.thechrisdowning.com. Go to the bottom and subscribe. I put out, motivational newsletters. It'll help you from time to time when you're going through a rough moment, okay? Other than that, guys, thank you. Thank you for putting me on this platform. I love you. I appreciate you, but you got to understand, you're the prize, all right? I'll see you guys soon.
Awesome. Thanks, Chris. Have a good night. Bye, everyone. Thanks again.